Platformer in Scratch. Let's get started. So the first thing we have is we just start off with the Scratch, and for one of the first times in a video, we're not going to delete it. So this is going to be our placeholder character, and you can go ahead and replace it later on, but I'm going to start with this character. And for the backdrop, we need a place for our player to run around in, so I'm going to go ahead and paint that real quick. So for the background, I'm going to have like a sky. I think I need to change to bitmap so I can paste. Alright, and then for the ground, I'm going to create like a brownish ground for sure. And yeah, let me create a little bit of level real quick. Now, don't make this, make this as, as whatever you want to do for real. And now the nice thing about Scratch, well, I was gonna say the nice thing, I don't know if it's nice anymore. Yeah, never mind. Okay, so now we have the level that I just threw up something real quick. This player is a little bit too big for this level, so I'm gonna go ahead and decrease the size to like 30. And we're just gonna call this the player. So I'll go ahead and say player, and yeah, we're gonna keep this as code. So for our player, we're gonna create another sprite. Well, actually, let me duplicate this. I'm going to the costumes, and we're gonna have a hitbox. The reason we're creating a hitbox is we're just gonna have the player, like the costume, follow the hitbox, because we want where the gravity and the collisions are handled to be consistent. So just get a good amount of the cat, so something like this. Just resize it till we get like the main body of the cat for real. So like something like this. Okay, this is about as good as, yeah, this is pretty good. And then you want to delete the rest of the cat. So if you just go ahead and click this, and then just delete the rest of the cat parts. Well, the ones that are visible at least. And now we have this. And we're gonna call this the hitbox. Now we can go, we can delete this and go to our player and click code. And what we're gonna say is, click when I receive. Actually, no, we're gonna say when flag is clicked. And we're also gonna bring when I receive. Okay. So the first thing is we're gonna say is when I receive, and this is gonna be like, oops. We're gonna call this go to player, and then we'll just say we're gonna call this go to hitbox. And then we're going to go to motion and go to hitbox. Okay. Now, with our hitbox, this is where we're going to be programming the movement of our character. So it's not that much code, so I'm just going to get started with it real quick. So we're going to say when flag is clicked, we're going to show. And then we're gonna set the size to 30. Just keep our size consistent, and move that here. And then we're going to go to our current position whenever we start the game and things of that nature. It's just 43, negative 43, and we're gonna set the rotation style to left of right. And then we're gonna create two variables. So the first one is going to be x velocity, but we gotta create them here. X velocity, and this is going to determine the x velocity of the player, and then we're also going to create another one called y velocity. Okay, bet. And now we have x and y velocity. We're going to initially set them to 0, and our hitbox, crazy enough, we're gonna make it invisible. So to do that, we're going to just say set ghost mode to 100. And we're gonna set ghost to 100, and boom. Now we have the initial amount. So if we click play, we'll see that it disappeared. It's just because the ghost is set to 100. If I go ahead and click 0, okay, the positioning is wrong. This is move this here. Oops. Okay. -225 and -107. Okay, cool. Now that we have our positioning right, so we're gonna copy this here, and move that here, and we're gonna copy this here and move that here. So now when we click the flag, we move to our original position. Okay, now next what we can do, so we can basically see like if our play, is whatever here, click play or move to hitbox, moves to the hitbox. That's what we wanted to do. Now we're going to say forever broadcast go to hitbox. Now what we're going to do afterwards is now we're going to set the movement of our block. So we're going to have 2 blocks, which we should make sure click run without screen refresh. And we're going to call the first one up/down movement. Okay, and then click OK. And I think, okay, I might have done this a little wrong, but we can just edit it and then add 2 inputs. Shoot, I'm gonna just call this jump height and then fall speed, and then just click OK, and we got our first one. And then we're gonna have our right left movement as well. So to do that, we're gonna create a block for that as well. So we'll just say right left movement. So the 2 inputs are going to be move speed, and then the second one is going to be drag. So I'm going to put right and left movement, and we're going to give values for these later, but let's first focus on the code. So the next thing we want to do is we're going to change the y by y velocity, and then we're going to say if we're going to grab an if else statement, and we're going to say if. Now here's where you want to think about 2 things. So if you have your own level like set up like outside of the backdrop, then you're going to say if touching whatever you have the level object named as. But in this case, we have the level as these brown objects right here. So I'm going to say if touching the color brown. So that's going to be our ground in this case. But if you chose to instead make the level a separate object, make sure you use touching then level object. Next, we're going to say repeat. I'm going to do some mathematics real quick. We're going to say ceiling. We need the ceiling object, so just this apps right here, change it to ceiling, and then grab apps again, put it right here, and then we're gonna say y velocity. Now we're gonna say again if, and then just copy this one here, duplicate by right clicking and then duplicate, and then we're gonna say if touching the level still, then we're gonna change y by then grab the division operator and say y velocity divided by apps of y velocity multiplied by -1. Okay, bet. So now we have that, and then we're gonna say under this first if statement, we're gonna grab a control, grab an if statement, and put this under the repeat, and we're gonna say if, and then grab an and operator, and then say if not y velocity greater than 0, and up arrow, let me see, and up arrow. So now this right here is going to be what does our jumping. Oh, I made a mistake. This should not be in the if. It should be if else. So grab an if else, because we're going to say if we're not jumping, we do something else. So yeah, so if we click the up arrow, which is going to be what we jump with, we're going to set y velocity to jump height. So yeah, just drag that there. And if we're not jumping, then just set y velocity to 0. Because this will mean we're touching the level, so we just have to stop jumping and things of that nature. And then else change the y velocity by fall speed. Okay, so now let's test our jumping. You can do that, but we're gonna say up, our jump height is going to be 12. And if I click play and go up, we keep jumping, but that's because we don't have a fall, which is going to be -1. And now we can jump, and that works pretty cool. Now for our moving left and right, and I think at this point we can set our ghost effect to 100 because we don't need to see the hitbox. Now we can go ahead and do our right and left movement, which is pretty similar to what we have here already. So what you can do is just duplicate it. So go ahead and copy and paste. And we're gonna say change x by x velocity, and then just remove this and remove this. And now we have somewhat of the similar stuff. So if touching level, ceiling of abs x velocity, then we're going to say if still touching level, then we say x velocity, right? Just change that. And yeah, we can get rid of this. And then just set x right under this if, I mean, is it under the repeat? Yeah, under the repeat, set the x velocity to 0. And then we're going to, right under this final if statement, we're going to create an if and else statement. We're going to say if, key right arrow, so we grab the right arrow and say right, if key right arrow, then we're going to set the x velocity. Well, obviously it's not fall speed no more. Yeah, get rid of that. Oh, okay, and also one thing, this should just be an if statement. So yeah, just go ahead and grab this, change this to a singular if statement. Yeah, so do this, and go ahead and move this right here. So next we have to say, okay, if right arrow pressed, x velocity, and then move speed. And then we're going to say else if left arrow pressed, then we do this, both multiplied by -1. Kind of okay, cool. And the final thing is, because one thing you'll notice is if we, interesting, well, yeah, the final thing is just setting our x velocity to, well, actually, yeah, let me do some real quick. Before we do that, we're gonna set the values of left and right. Well, let me set the move speed to 10, and you just see this real quick. Yeah, we're missing drag basically. So that's kind of what I'm proving. What this last thing is going to do is the drag. So we're gonna set that to 0.6. and we're gonna say set x velocity to x velocity multiplied by drag. So just grab a multiplication block and do this, x velocity drag. So I think this should work. Okay, yeah, never mind. That was not the drag. We have a problem. Okay, so it seems we have a mathematical error. So this times -1 should like be here, if you know what I mean. Like, yeah, basically the -1 should be, we should multiply everything by a -1, and the same goes for here. So there we go, we got an error. I'm assuming it's solved. Okay, no, never mind. The problem was another thing as well. I'm supposed to run without screen refresh. So, and then also make sure to change this right here. Instead of change y, we're also supposed to change x. That was another thing I messed up on. Yo. So just move this here, move this here. And now if I click play, I should jump, move around. Oops, okay. Okay, I'm kind of bad at this. But yeah, jump, and if you hit the side, like, yeah, you're not able to go through it. But yeah, and then, you know what I'm saying, go here, and then go here, and then you're at the top. Now we just need to create a winning and losing state, which is pretty easy. This is, just go ahead, remove this, click flag, and I'm just going to create a flag. And you know what I'm saying, just grab a little black. And I'm just gonna go ahead and yeah, just move this to the top, and then just change its rotation. So okay, and then just make this a little bit smaller. Okay, and I mean, yeah, now we just gotta get to this flag. So we just say, we just say when touching player. So we just say wait until. Let me just say wait until touching player, and then when we touch player, just stop all, and then we're just gonna basically say you win. Yeah, so now you can go ahead and click play. You can jump. Okay, so we also need to handle losing. So let me call this flag, and then we just say if we'll just have an if loop that also runs forever. So actually, I would just say create a flag. Oh my gosh, create a flag, and then just wait until the y position equals to, and you see what it's equal to right now. Just copy that, paste it here, and then we can also just kind of start over the game. So do this, you know what I mean? And then okay, or we can just say we can't then forever that. We're just gonna have to say forever if y position equals to this, then do this, you know, and then cool. So now if we fall, oops, now if we fall down, we start over. But we can just make it a little less sudden, and now if you fall, you get back there. Alright, cool. So now let's go ahead and try to beat this. Well, we have one more problem. Maybe we're saying say you win too soon, so maybe we just say in 3 seconds. And the only other thing I'm thinking is just letting our player rotate left and right. So we're just gonna say when flag is clicked, forever, if else, if, then just say if, key right, if key left. Then we're just gonna set the rotation style to left and right, and then we're gonna say point in direction 90 and point in direction -90. So yeah, that should just handle our looking left and right. So yeah, that looks a lot better. And I think this should be the end. Let me just make if I can beat this game. Okay, boom, 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 boom. Okay, I'm so garbage. Okay, and then yeah, you win. And there we go. So thank you very much for watching. That's the end of this video. Where we create a platform in Scratch. I hope you enjoyed. Please make sure to like and subscribe so that the channel can continue to grow. And hopefully I see you in the next one. Peace.